Hi Portland Fire, I'm Jessica Coney, Wellness Coordinator. Here is our video for how to improve on the shoulder flexion extension assessment. Here's the QR code for this assessment. A couple things I want to explain on this assessment. You'll see different names for it, and a lot of the reason why is because this one assessment looks at a lot of different mobility and range of motion within the shoulder. So in the assessment, you start in a T position with your hands in a fist, thumb tucked in. And what it looks at when one arm goes up and one down is the ability for your shoulder and your deltoid to flex, so to contract and come up, and then the deltoid here to extend. And if we look at it on the other side, one arm is reaching up, one arm is reaching down. So that's why in the IAFF example, they call it the reach assessment. We bend the arms and we reach down the spine, really focusing on maintaining that neutral spine alignment. Really important, good posture so that we don't arch and get all funky while we're doing this test. You just want to go as far as you can and what your mobility will allow to comfort. So now when we reach up and we bend the arm at the top, we are looking at external rotation of the rotator cuff. When we bend the arm and come under, we're looking at internal rotation. So that is a factor in the assessment. That's where we have additional assessments that we'll work into next year, where we really just primarily look at external rotation and internal rotation of the shoulder. So I'm going to just give you a few little dynamic warm-up exercises for how to improve on this assessment and that range of motion of the shoulder. So go ahead and start in a T position, and we're just going to focus on one arm. So drop one arm down, and if time's a factor, you could do both arms at the same time. But I just want you to slowly bring one arm through and then back to that T position. And just go nice and slow and ease into that hand, maybe going a little bit further up the lower back and up that spine as you feel things mobilize a little bit further. Really watch, try not to tuck the shoulder down and lift that scapula up, so retract that shoulder blade down and back, and just go as far as you can. And about 10 to 20 reps on this is good. And then let's go ahead now and do the upward portion where we reach down and come back to a T. Making sure, as always, to keep that rib cage locked down. The tendency, especially when we reach up, is for the rib cage to come up and us to get arch in that back. So you want to lock the rib cage down, squeeze the glutes, and that'll really protect that spine. And then it will also allow you to primarily focus on the shoulder and just focus on stretching the shoulder. About 10 to 20 reps here is good, and then let's do the other side. Starting out nice and slow, just easing into going a little bit further each rep. Ten to 20 reps is good, and then we'll go to the overhead. Same thing, about 10 to 20 reps. Now, if you would like to incorporate more movement like this for your shoulder, go ahead and refer to our shoulder mobility videos. Here's the QR codes for those. And those workouts are a little bit longer. They incorporate a lot more of the Y, T, A type positions and the internal external rotation. And then the shoulder recovery video is going to primarily go over how to roll your rotator cuff and your shoulder muscles with a lacrosse ball or tennis ball. So now, just to continue how to improve on this shoulder assessment specifically, I'm going to lead you through a static stretch that I will want you to hold for a minimum of 2 minutes per side. So you'll need a dowel or PVC pipe, or even a towel, or you could use a t-shirt, something like that. You really want to ease into this one because this can be tough, especially if your range of motion is limited. So what I'm going to do is start with one hand grabbing the PVC pipe, and I'm going to reach up and over, and I'm going to allow it to kind of slide down my spine. I'm going to take that other hand, come around, and just very gently grab the PVC pipe. And if your range of motion is limited, the PVC pipe or something longer is going to be better. So you need a really long towel because you may not be able to get your hands very close together. And always focusing on neutral spine alignment, squeezing your glutes so that as you stretch, you don't loosen and tweak up that back. So as I feel more comfortable, just want to slowly reach up and hold. And I'm leading you through this for 2 minutes, so if you're not following the video, you need to make sure to set a timer for yourself to make sure that you hold longer. A lot of feedback and comments that I'll get from members is, you know, they're stretching, they're doing mobility work, and their mobility is not getting better. And so a question I always ask is, how long are they holding the stretches? And I'll normally say 10 to 30 seconds, and that is what I would say is a big issue. They need to hold longer. So you need, especially if you're tight in those areas, you need to hold a minimum of 2 minutes to really allow those muscles to relax and elongate. And you need to do it for a long, consistently over time. It's not going to get better overnight. You got to do it consistently for weeks and months even to see improvement. And so in this position now, if I feel comfortable, one thing you can do is very gently pull with this top hand a little bit. And you can play with even different angles, so you can round a little bit, just so you feel a little bit more of a stretch in that bottom arm. The other option is to pull a little bit down with my bottom hand so that I'm stretching the top arm. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And good, there's 2 minutes, so let's go to the other side. So I'm going to reach over with that top arm, reach back to where I'm comfortable. And I already know on this side, for my bottom arm, my left arm is way more flexible than my right. It feels better. I'm in a little less pain on the left side. My right side experiences just a little bit more discomfort. So what I need to do is work more on that right side with the arm down. So we're holding here again, 2 minutes, rib cage locked down, squeeze your glutes. As you feel a little bit more comfortable and you're easing into the stretch, you can reach your back hand maybe a little further, your top hand a little further down. Very gently pull up and down so you can get a little bit more of a stretch. We're almost to our 2 minutes. So in this shoulder assessment, we measure one hand to the other. So that's where this stretch over time, as you feel like you can reach further, will really help you improve your measurement on both sides. And if you find you're pretty low with the hand and high, a good goal is to be able to work towards your hands being about palm width apart. So where I can reach the top hand, lower kind of between my shoulder blades. So that's 2 minutes. Continue working on this stretch to see improvement.